Plot armor. That is what we are talking about today. What is plot armor, you may ask? Okay, well, if you've been living under a rock like a good old Patrick Star over here, plot armor is essentially, you ever play a video game, watch a movie, or even a TV show, and the character survives something that's like, I didn't know that you had fate manipulation. I didn't know that you had a degree 1 healing factor. I didn't know that you are functionally immortal in just about every sense of the word. Yeah, that's basically plot armor, okay? Now, understand this. I need to clear this up right away, because there's a few characters that you might think are going to be on here that just aren't. Doomslayer does not go on here. You want to know why? Doomslayer doing what he does is not surprising at all when you realize that he's effectively basically just a god. Like, there's no plot armor. He is literally the plot moving forward. That is what he is, okay? When we're looking at plot armor, we're looking at characters like a Guts from Berserk that survives things multiple times, that it's like, how did you survive that? Harry Potter from the Harry Potter movies, where he's essentially going toe-to-toe with a villain that's stated multiple times is hilariously more powerful than him, and part of the reason that he's even somewhat alive is the plot itself is like, Ayo, power of love works as a shield. And ask Ketchum. Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. He has so much plot armor that he doesn't age. I'm sorry, bro. His plot armor is so powerful, he actively is protected from setting this mortal coil. That is how powerful he is, okay, in terms of plot armor. And many, many more, okay? In this video, we're going to be going over characters in fiction that I believe have the most plot armor, and we're going to be ranking them in a tier list based off how much plot armor I believe they have. From some to... They are receiving literal God-level protection. God himself is protecting this character. If this video is entertaining you at all, please consider a like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to get to 250,000 subscribers before the end of the year. 500,000 before the release of GTA 6. That is the goal. We have a lot of new stuff coming to the channel, and you have to hit the bell icon to stay notified to participate in community polls, community posts, all of that. And with all that out of the way, let's get into characters with the most plot armor. Let's go. Harry Potter. Brother, straight out the womb, he is inheriting an absolute insane level of wealth that is MacGuffins his way into a, literal... I want you to think about this. I feel like every single part of, that was difficult about world building in Harry Potter is explained away when you realize it was written by a British person. I'm sorry, dog. I will make fun of the world building of Harry Potter to an absurd degree. But whenever we look at Harry Potter, dude, Harry Potter is such a hilarious Mary Sue to the aspect of he gets so good at magic so hilariously quickly when we're comparing him to other people that are even somewhat similar. Harry Potter is a celebrity in this world, and that makes sense, okay? But then it's like, oh yeah, well, he's not gonna have money because he doesn't have any people alive in the wizarding world. Yeah, no, his parents just so happened to put money away, and through interest were able to accrue, and now Harry Potter is effectively a rich celebrity in this world. Okay, whatever. Oh, well, why didn't he get got by Voldemort when he was a baby? Because the power of love literally works as a shield. I'm not kidding you. Deus Ex Machina, the shield, okay? The power of love works as a force field here, okay? Barely ever comes up again. Need that to be barely ever comes up again. On top of that, the villains actively don't really go after him because partly into, oh yeah, you're also a Horcrux for Voldemort, so essentially we really can't get rid of you. So the plot itself does kind of work in protecting him in there. He's not going to be having a god-level protection here. But it's also brother, he did get got, and the plot brought him back. I need that to be stated. Harry Potter resurrected himself. I'm sorry, bro. At bare minimum, you have at least 3 plates of... resurrecting yourself from death, you get immediately 3 plates of body armor. Okay, 3 plates of plot armor. Immediately on top of that, you resurrect yourself there. Harry Potter isn't even technically the chosen one in this story. It's still Neville Longbottom. I've gone on that rant before. But when I'm looking at Harry Potter, bro, I don't know what it is, bro. I feel like I wouldn't like Harry Potter. If I went to Hogwarts with Harry, I wouldn't like him. I'd be like, who does Nepo baby think he is? Who's this guy? But shut up, Scarface. Okay, yeah, that would be me. That would effectively be me. I'm sorry. Him being resurrected from the down under, being able to be competitive with Voldemort, which is stateable multiple times to be way more powerful than him. I'm sorry. And then you're like, well, it was for this reason, You understand that, the plot itself is working around Harry, and Harry is not working for the plot, right? I'm sorry, bro. Harry Potter, bare minimum, is a 3 plates of plot armor off rip alone. Guts from Berserk. I'm not even talking about the eclipse. That's the funniest aspect of it, dude. He doesn't have so much plot armor where he's not struggling, but he is surviving so many things that should have just gotten him Like, number one, brother, he was born out of the unalive body of his mother on a tree, and he just so happened to be picked up by a mercenary band, and he just so happened to be able to survive, even though he was by a motherly figure that had an illness that should have infected him as a child. He was kept alive through battle after battle that honestly should have gotten him, and he was in those battles for the purpose of getting rid of him. Okay? Survives all of that. Literal multiple arrows to the back as a child. He survives all of this. And it's because, because the Band of a Hawk was just so happened to be there. Understand this. He has so much plot armor. There's actually like a reason behind this. And the reason is fate itself was kind of like, yeah, but we kind of need guts. And I know somebody's going to say, oh, well, then it's not plot armor. No. Plot armor is an actual thing inside of Berserk. Certain characters are literally protected by the plot. Griffith is literally the plot. Okay? Guts surviving the eclipse, which is also stated multiple times over that, like, he should not have survived that. And him surviving it at all is, like, fate itself is protecting him. And, oh my god, bro, there's even a panel in here where, like, the universe works around Guts and Casca, which is, like, the most, they are protected by the plot itself. He just so happens to find an elf that gives him, like, this healing ability that honestly keeps him alive in every single matchup he's in. He just so happens to find a witch that's able to keep him alive because he has a magical artifact that is literally the Mega MacGuffin that gives him a 100% power boost, but it has a drawback that only the witch can help him, like, negate that. Like, I'm sorry, bro, like, he's not the most amount of plot armor. He most definitely has protagonist privilege, though. Protagonist privilege to an absurd degree. There are multiple things that he survives that, in hindsight, is like, brother, if you were 1 inch off, you're gone. Like, and I get it, and he's just a normal dude. That's the crazy part. Everything that's stated, he's just a normal guy, and he's surviving all of this. That's the craziest aspect of it. And, like, the healing only brings you back so far. That's the craziest aspect. I'm putting it in protagonist privilege. I think that's fair. Is it God protects him? No, God is just keeping him alive to suffer some more. But there's a few other characters that I would actually put up there. Dominic Toretto from Fast and Furious. Yeah, God protects him. Bro, I wouldn't even be surprised if in the Fast and Furious universe, Vin Diesel is literally just the God. Brother, there are so many points that, like, even, like, it just... Aerodynamics don't even work like that. Physics don't work like that. You can't hold a helicopter and a car with your bare hands and hold them together. Oh, wow, yeah, he's dragging the car behind him by grabbing that. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, I need you to think about this. If it's not plot armor and there's actually a reason why Dominic Toretto can get away with half of the stuff that he does, no joke, Dominic Toretto would be one of the more powerful superheroes inside of the Marvel Universe. Dominic Toretto would be at the same level of power as a Captain America with some of the feats that he is pulling off. Brother, The Rock inside of the Fast and Furious universe literally fought a superhero hand to hand. I'm not kidding you. Dude, Fast and Furious movies are just Marvel movies. There's no way. Dude, they wanted to do a crossover with Jurassic Park. I need that to be, I might talk about that in another video. That's something that, like, I think about that from time to time. Brother, Dominic Toretto has such a crazy level of plot armor that he has to call it family. I'm putting Dominic Toretto in God Protects Him, or he might be him. I'm putting it right there. Yes, no, Dominic Toretto has more plot armor than Guts does. Why? Dominic Toretto barely, he had a 1v30 fight with the most powerful mercenaries on the planet. Dominic Toretto is a car racer. I'm sorry, bro. God protects him. Rick Grimes. I'm thinking about this because Rick Grimes has, at bare minimum, 3 plates because he's able to literally resurrect himself at the beginning of the zombie apocalypse. I'm sorry, bro. The only way that didn't happen is if Sane, when he went to the hospital to check on the heart rate of Rick Grimes, he was legitimately just wrong and he couldn't hear the heartbeat. But I like to think that there was a point where they were playing that Rick Grimes is partially immune to the disease because he was in a coma at the time that it happened. I know that doesn't make sense, but I'm sorry, bro. Watch the first 5 seasons of The Walking Dead and tell me that was not a plot line that they were playing with. So, I'm sorry, bro. At bare minimum, you're dealing with 3 plates, and on top of that, he survives getting impaled and blown up. He survives multiple battles that literally everybody around... Okay, I'll say this right now. Walking Dead, either a character has absurd level plot armor until they don't, or they are literal fodder to the storyline. There are so many characters that get turned into emotional bait so quickly, but then there are other characters that survive absurd level instances, but then get got by like a super mundane thing. Rick Grimes survives getting impaled and blown up. I'm sorry, dude, 3 plates. Actually, no, protagonist privilege. At least Harry Potter's magic. Jon Snow. Okay, bare minimum 3 plates. He gets resurrected. He gets resurrected by a witch that has demonic abilities that are literally never, really brought up again inside of the Game of Thrones TV show. And I want you to keep in mind, in the books, Jon Snow just got resurrected in the books. That's how far behind we are, okay? We don't know the full realm of everything that's there. In the TV show, Jon Snow, all the plot armor that he has gets sent over to the wall so he doesn't get got like the rest of the Starks. Survives the siege of the wall, gets got in during the siege of the wall, gets resurrected by a witch that has abilities that never really get elaborated on, gets brought back, survives battle after battle that he logically just shouldn't survive. Battle of the Bastards. I had got into a debate on this on a Q&A, and it was... Jon Snow becomes the de facto main character of the series the moment Battle of the Bastards kicks off because he survives things that he just logically shouldn't survive if we're playing with the same rules that Game of Thrones was playing by. Look through the early seasons of Game of Thrones. Every character survives things that, kind of make sense. Jon Snow survives things that just don't make sense. I'm putting Jon Snow 3 plates of plot armor. I'm going to put him there a little bit above Harry Potter, but I think that's a valid placement. Isaac Clarke from Dead Space. Oh, this one's tough because... Actually, is it really that tough? I might have to move some people down if I'm being honest here because a lot of the people are going towards the top and we have a few that I think deserve a lot more on top. You know what? I'll have to move some people down with this placement. When I'm looking at Isaac Clarke, the fact is Isaac Clarke just so happens to have basically a psionic seal that protects him from the marker's influence to the point that he gets minor psychosis while everyone else gets their mind broken by this thing. And he just so happens to be able to have this ability. He just so happens to have armor that is very well acquainted to facing these things. He just so happens to get there at a time where it was safe to be there. He just so there are so many parts in Dead Space where Isaac Clarke survives because the plot dictates that he survives. Now, where he's not going to be out of 3 plates is that, at least out of the top of my head, Isaac Clarke doesn't survive a resurrection. So I'm going to put him in 2 plates. And 2 plates, I think that's a valid one. Actually, you know what? I'm going to move some armor... And I'm going to move Harry Potter down the 2 plates. Because there is some logical reasoning for why he would survive this. I'm just a Harry Potter hater, so I'm biased. But I think, I'm going to keep it there. As Ketchum from Pokemon. I'm not even kidding you, bro. This kid faces the literal gods of time inside of the Pokemon universe. Literal biblical level entities, okay? With... basically an electric fucking pipsqueak, okay? An electric guinea pig. And somehow survives, tanks explosions, time-bending attacks, and doesn't AIDS. I'm going to be real here. I wouldn't be surprised if you find out at the end of the series that Ash Ketchum is actually a Pokemon it himself, otherwise known as God. I'm sorry, bro. The amount of attacks that he is surviving from, Mewtwo, all these other... I keep on saying it, but, it's cringe, but, Lovecraftian-level Pokemon deities. He just so happens to survive. This is a child that doesn't AIDS, by the way. I'm sorry, dude. There comes a point he has the same level of plot armor as Vin Diesel or Dominic Torreto. I just gotta put him right there. Ellie from The Last of Us. I was debating putting Joel Miller, but at the end of the day, Joel Miller's plot armor eventually did run out. Ellie, I'm gonna keep it real here. There are multiple sequences. Like, number one, Abby should have iced Ellie the moment that she iced Joel. The fact that she didn't is actually just, that's plot armor acting in. Ellie also ends up surviving things that the plot itself had to step in. Number one, her surviving the surgery in the first place gave Joel Miller has plot armor because he had to protect Ellie. I'll be real here. Joel Miller being able to get through the entirety of that hospital, a very easy to fortify position, to get to Ellie, when Ellie, was in her most vulnerable state, and they weren't already acting, what if the surgery already began and they already opened up Ellie's old big old noodle right up here and they were digging up in her brainy works? Then Joel would have done, if he was 15 minutes later, would have been done. 15 minutes later would have been all for nothing. Ellie, by so many circumstances that are out of her control, is kept alive. Don't even get me started with the fact that she's literally immune to the virus, which is a MacGuffin in and of itself, but I will allow that. But, all the time that she survives Abby is hilarious. Ellie gets spared by Abby not once, but twice. And I'm sorry, bro, the second time is unexcusable. That was just lazy writing. That's just lazy, right? There is literally no reason for Abby to keep Ellie alive at that point. Not one logical reason. Abby deserved everything that happened to her after that. I'm sorry, bro. Ellie is 3 plates of protagonist privilege. Protagonist privilege. I have to put him there. Captain America from the MCU. Okay, when I'm looking at Captain America from the MCU, maybe it's just because, understand, I already know where we're gonna have to put him. But when I'm looking at Captain America, the fact is that he should lose to Iron Man, and the only reason he didn't lose to Iron Man is Iron Man was only really targeting the Winter Soldier. They were battling in an area where Iron Man wouldn't be, at his absolute strongest. There are multiple points where he's fighting people like Thanos, and keep in mind, Thanos is basically one-hitting Thor every single time, and putting the hands on Hulk. And this is where it gets confusing to me. Captain America as a super soldier is very difficult to place on how powerful he is, because one second he gets hurt by a very normal level attack, and then other times he's literally able to keep somebody with the Infinity Gauntlet away from him. I don't get it. Sorry, Captain America has some of the most inconsistent strength I've ever seen. One second he does something that would put him top 3 in the verse. Other second he takes damage from something that should the fact that the Winter Soldier was doing so much damage to him in hand-to-hand combat, and Thanos tapping him to the dome didn't immediately make him go back to the lobby is absolute. Oh, well, he didn't mean, Thanos was holding back. Why would Thanos hold back? At that point, why would Thanos hold back? Oh, well, he didn't want to take out, okay, and that's another thing. All these arguments prove the plot armor that he has, by the way. Because they'll be like, oh, well, he didn't want to take more lives than he had to. Thanos took out half of the people from Valhalla already. And then he took out, not Valhalla, oh my gosh. He took out half the people from Asgard at the beginning of the film, and then took out another half of them at the film after that. No, he was not holding back. I'm sorry, dude, I'm putting Captain America, protagonist privilege. I have to put him there. Master Chief from Halo. I love Master Chief from Halo. It is kind of funny if you think about it, where it's Master Chief isn't even the only type of Spartan of his kind, okay? And he is literally the one-man army against the Covenant, to the point that you can argue Master Chief is the only reason that humanity is still alive. So, the fact that there are multiple people like him in the verse, he is not given, actual, immortality. He is able to be gotten. The fact that all of that is able to take place, and understand this, brother, we got so used to Master Chief having an otherworldly amount of plot armor that when he finally had trouble with a character that, logically speaking, should have given him some trouble, like Spartan Locke, that we said it was unrealistic. No. The problem is that Master Chief had so much plot armor throughout the entirety of the original Halo trilogy that the moment he didn't have it, we were like, that's a completely different character. I'm sorry, bro. Master Chief has 3 plates of plot armor 100%. planet. He is surviving nukes in space, lasers that no diff him, actual Cthulhu-level entities. I'm putting him in 3 plates of plot armor, no question. Batman. Batman is the plot. I wouldn't be surprised if when Batman is doing his, with prep time, he is literally enlisting the help of Lovecraftian-level deities to give him plot armor. This is a man that is surviving, I want you to think about this. The plot armor of Batman is so notorious that the entire argument of prep time was literally made to account for it. That is how absurd Batman's plot armor is. He survives battle against Batman. He survives battle against gods. He survives battle against the devil. Brother, I just saw a comic panel where he literally fell from space, okay? Wrapped himself in a cape and landed down on Earth and survived. And I looked for context. The context was literally, well, he slowed down himself enough and wrapped himself in a fireproof cape. That is the dumbest argument I've ever heard. Batman either has superpowers or he is the god of his verse with plot armor. God protects him, no question. Rey Skywalker. Understand this. I just want to, people were bringing up Rey. No. Here's the worst part. It's not that Rey has plot armor. Rey is literally the most powerful Force user in the history of the verse. I need that to be stated right now. Rey, at the end of Rise of Skywalker, is more powerful than Anakin. People bring up, well, what about midichlorian counts? No. Because of all the Jedi and most of the Sith gotten, Rey Skywalker has all of the power of the Jedi, plus Anakin at that point in time. Rey is the most powerful Jedi to ever live. Rey is the most powerful Jedi to ever exist, and the last great Jedi to ever exist, according to the writing of Star Wars. No. It would be better. Actually, no. She does. Okay. Actually, she does have some plot armor. Well, you know why she has some plot armor? The Force healing is actually hilarious. Like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, who is writing these movies that they introduce Force healing and they thought that that wasn't going to cause an uproar, as if that wasn't the reason why Anakin turned evil to begin with? I'm sorry, dog. When I'm looking at Rey Skywalker, the fact is, bro, we are looking at a solid 3 plates of plot armor. However, it keeps her from protagonist privilege because the fact is, dog, she becomes the most powerful Force user to ever live. I'm just going to put her in 3 plates, though, because there are a lot of instances where I'm like, wait, what? You survive that? You survive? How? The Force Awakens, the fact that she's able to win the duel against Kylo Ren either means Kylo Ren is completely and utterly adept and sucks at fighting, or Rey Skywalker just has an absurd level of plot armor. I'm sorry, we just gotta put her at 3 plates of plot armor right then and there. And there you go. Those are characters with the most plot armor in fiction. If you enjoyed the video, please consider a like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to get to 250,000 subscribers before the end of the year. 500,000 subscribers before the release of GTA 6 is the goal. I am hyped, and I think this is like my 6th video filming of the day. I'm trying to keep my energy up. This was a good one to end it on. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling sweaty. I need some food. I'm gonna go have some chocolate milk, a ribeye, and I'm gonna go read some Berserk. That's what I'm gonna do. Your boy's going on some vacation. All of these are pre-recorded. If you want to, send a fun message, you can go into the comments and say, have a good vacation if you want. Leave some video suggestions that you want. We have some different types of content coming in when I come back from vacation. A whole bunch of stuff that I'm gonna announce when I come back. With all that out of the way, I will see you all in the next video. Adios, guys.